केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
So primarily, when we talk about air quality index, AQI, basically the full form of AQI is air quality index, which is basically various parameters on which the air quality is assessed. Of course, in India, we actually follow PM 2.5, which is particulate matter 2.5, which is actually 40 times smaller than human hair. So it's very, very tiny. And then there's PM10, there's ozone, there's sulfur dioxide, and there's also carbon, in the sense carbon monoxide. So these together, these components, these parameters together, the composite of all
A major political and legal development from Maharashtra. Nashik police has moved to Mumbai to serve a notice to NCP leader and former minister Manikarao Kokate after a non-bailable warrant was issued against him. The case involves illegal acquisition of government flats using forged documents. Here's more.
The Nashik District and Sessions Court recently upheld a 2-year rigorous imprisonment sentence against Manikrao Kokate and his brother in a 1995 housing fraud case, keeping alive the conviction for acquiring government flats with false documents. Following the decision, the court directed that an arrest warrant be issued, and the Nashik police team has now reached Mumbai to serve a notice and, if necessary, execute the warrant against Kokate. Kokate, who reportedly complained of health issues, is currently admitted to Lilavati Hospital in Mumbai's Bandra area, where he remains under treatment. Amid the escalating legal crisis, Kokate has resigned from his ministerial post. His portfolios, including sports, youth welfare, minority development, have been transferred to Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar. Kokate has approached the Bombay High Court challenging the conviction and seeking a stay on the sentence and arrest. The case originates from 1995, where Kokate and his brother were accused of submitting forged affidavits and documents to show a lower income and no property ownership to secure 2 flats. The court found this to be cheating and forgery, as the benefits were meant for genuinely low-income applicants.
That the opposition is asking for his resignation as a minister, that is justified, it has to be there. And moreover, he should be disqualified from the post of MLA, because once a person gets elected, can be disqualified if that person is found convicted under the serious charge of corruption, not any other, not less than corruption. And if you see the judgment is over that he was found guilty of corruption, and the details are given in the judgment. Basically, I feel that the ruling party is trying to cover up all that, keeping in mind the forthcoming election, and keeping in mind that they generally don't take any actions against this type of people when the charges are proved. So this is my request, or this is my demand, you can say, before the government, that they are going to spoil the reputation by covering up such kind of people who are already declared convicted by the judiciary.
Meanwhile, Kokate has approached the Bombay High Court, where the matter is scheduled to be heard.
Also coming up, viewers, campaign to save the Aravallis gathers steam. National concern over redefining Aravalli mountain range that protects all of North India.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
So primarily, when we talk about air quality index, AQI, basically the full form of AQI is air quality index, which is basically various parameters on which the air quality is assessed. Of course, in India, we actually follow PM 2.5.
Hello and welcome viewers, you're watching Republic TV and I'm Priyanka Chaudhary. Our main focus is going to be on the public health emergency that the country, especially the national capital, continues to face, that is pollution, and the parliament had decided not to debate on it. There has been several debates going on various issues. Opposition on that front has also taken place, but no talks on what is required at this point in time, the right to fresh air. We get to the details, but first the headlines. Major protest in Dhaka after student leader succumbs to gunshots, vandalism and rioting in different parts of the city. Parliament ignores India's biggest public health emergency. Debate on pollution is pushed as politicians choose to ignore the AQI emergency that affects 60% of India. Campaign to save the Aravallis gathers steam. National concern over redefining Aravalli mountain range that protects all of North India. G bill cleared by Parliament. Rajya Sabha passes law hours after Lok Sabha approval. After Maharashtra Minister, National Congress Party leader Manikrao Kokate resigns from the state cabinet, Nashik police reaches Mumbai. Kokate to likely be arrested. Viewers, politics is heating up over air pollution in the national capital. Delhi Minister Ashish Sood has in fact criticized the Aam Aadmi Party government's approach to tackling pollution, saying their measures are per PR activities aimed at securing political ground. He specifically targeted the odd-even scheme introduced by Arvind Kejriwal, stating that the National Green Tribunal had reprimanded the government for prioritizing this scheme over other suggestions. Sood also highlighted that the Aam Aadmi Party government's failure to address Delhi's transport and waste management issues, suggesting they focus more on advertisements than actual solutions. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has also criticized the government's spending priorities, noting they had no funds for ads but not for fixing public transport. Certain political reactions coming in on this story. Let's play them out.
कल के हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स में एक खबर छपी, अमिड फेवरेबल विंड कंडीशंस AQI improves across Delhi and NCR. साथ ही साथ एक खबर और छपी, Delhi's PM 2.5 has 60% of Delhi's PM 2.5 from nearby towns data. ये हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स ने छापी कि विंड कंडीशन के कारण AQI अच्छा है और आसपास के राज्यों के कारण दिल्ली का PM 2.5 बढ़ता है. मजे की बात है, आज का टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया लिखता है, स्लो विंड्स स्मॉग पुश AQI फ्रॉम ब्रिंक टू सीवियर. यह मेरी बात को तथ्यात्मक रूप से सही बताता है कि दिल्ली के प्रदूषण में आसपास के राज्यों का एक बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा है. उसमें पंजाब, हरियाणा और आसपास हमारा अपना कोई मौसम नहीं है. बड़ा क्रांतिकारी कदम लाए थे, बड़ा क्रांतिकारी. इंजन ऑफ, इंजन ऑन, इंजन ऑफ, इंजन ऑन. रेड लाइट पे खड़े कर दिए थे. प्रदूषण दूर करने का इनका उपाय क्या था? आप अपनी गाड़ी की रेड लाइट पे खड़े हो, इंजन ऑफ कर दे, प्रदूषण खत्म हो जाएगा. इंजन ऑन करेंगे तो प्रदूषण तो होगा ही. इंजन ऑफ, इंजन ऑन. बड़े IIT वाले लोग थे साहब. IIT के ग्रेजुएट अरविंद केजरीवाल रॉकेट साइंस लाए थे. इंजन ऑफ, इंजन ऑन.
My colleague Chandrakala is joining us live on the broadcast to give us more details. Chandrakala, firstly, what is the ground update?
Well, as you can see, the ground update is absolutely, it's worsening day by day. It's almost 11:30 here, of course, and you can see it's completely, the visibility, you can see that it's completely invisible. Well, Delhi is now battling the severe air pollution crisis. It continues to battle the severe air pollution crisis, yet the political blame game continues. Now we have seen Minister Ashish Sood again criticizing the AAP government's approach to tackling pollution, saying that it's a mere, they're saying the measures are mere PR activities. We have seen earlier, Minister Pravesh Verma saying that Delhi is bearing the brunt of AAP's wrongdoing. So yes, there is no solution, but yet the political blame game continues. He has also now, Minister Sood has also highlighted, the AAP government's failure to address Delhi's transport and waste management issues, which is very, very critical, of course, suggesting they focus more on advertisements than actual solutions. The Supreme Court has also criticized the government's spending priorities, noting they had funds for ads, but not for fixing public transport. So yes, now we are also learning that, of course, the debate that was to be taking place in the parliament yesterday, it got postponed, and today also it got adjourned. So yes, a very, very very, very worsening situation right at this moment in the national capital. Well, it's not only confined to the national capital, but across North India is suffering from this worst AQI level, leading to a lot of health issues, health hazards. Many kids are suffering, of course, many school-going kids. Of course, this is a time wherein in the morning, wherein the kids need to go to school, colleges. So yes, the entire North India is now suffering. It's a national public health disaster, and Republic TV has been running this campaign, Nota for AQI, and we have seen many people giving their, sharing their views and the problems they are suffering on a daily basis. But it's very unfortunate that despite the politics, most importantly, politics has been given more important rather than solving this crisis, which is, worsening day by day, and there seems to be no solution yet. We have tried speaking to the Delhi Environment Minister on this, and where he himself have apologized that it's impossible to solve this issue within 9 to 10 months by any government, by any elected government. So when the government itself is saying that it's impossible to solve this issue, what could the people of the national capital do at this moment? So yes, as you have asked me for the ground updates, it's worsening day by day, and we can see the pollution level is worsening, the AQI level is worsening, and it's getting worse day by day, but no solution right at this moment. No debate in the parliament, which was expected yesterday. Today also there is no discussion. But yes, the other activities continues in the parliament, but no debate on air pollution.
That's right. That's right, Chandrakala, as you are also showing us those visuals from the ground, viewers, it's around 11:30 now, past 11:30, and visibility is improved, but it's not great given that a haze can be clearly visible in the background of my colleague Chandrakala, who's giving us these details from the ground, although the morning and night is very, very in a state which is completely depleting with each passing day. Chandrakala, also at this point in time, what are the measures that we can see from the ground, although from the side of the government there are water sprinklers that are used, there are several measures that have been put in place. Elaborate on the measures that have come in under the GRAP system.
Well, a few measures has been introduced, but it seems there's no proper implementation of the measures being taken here in the national capital. We'll have to wait and watch what the government is up to, because various measures has been introduced also regarding the construction. It still continues at 3 o'clock past midnight. So that's something very critical to look at, because many measures has been introduced. BS4 vehicle will not be allowed to enter Delhi, etc. But we'll have to wait and watch if these measures are implemented in the right way, and if something could be done in next few days to sort this crisis.
That's right. You also spoke about the parliament. As we know that the Lok Sabha was adjourned standard eye, and there was no discussion on pollution. That is the need of the hour. Chandrakala, what exactly is happening on that front, because the parliament did not debate on the public health emergency?
Yes, absolutely. As I have mentioned this, all other activities are continuing, but the most important discussion which is to be taking place is not happening, which is very unfortunate for the people right at this moment, because we are looking for a proper debate on air pollution to be taking place in the parliament, in the Lok Sabha, which got postponed yesterday, and today it's the same. It got adjourned and there is no discussion in the parliament. We'll have to wait and watch what is the government up to. Are we taking up this in the parliament on an immediate basis? Because, people are angry, people are frustrated.
That's
of course, and it's the people who are suffering this, not the government. It's the people who are suffering on a daily basis. Of course, we are on the ground. We'll have to. It's all about it's one of the most worst, because this is not the first time that Delhi is facing this problem. Since the time I have been in Delhi, I have been facing this problem since the time I am here in the national capital, and it's the worst pollution. Crisis that the national capital continues to face.
Okay, Chandrakala, thank you for giving us the details from the ground. Viewers, as we continue to bring you updates regarding the deteriorating AQI levels in Delhi and NCR region, we also get you some more news and updates that are coming in on the similar lines. Viewers, the Aravallis Mountains in North India, the Earth's oldest fold range dated back 1.8 billion years, are currently facing existential dangers. Supreme Court's November 2025 verdict adopted a strict 100-meter elevation definition, removing 90% of protection and encouraging unlawful mining increases in Rajasthan's Alwar Bhiwandi region. Here's a detailed report on the issue. Take a look.
The Aravallis Mountains, North India's ancient shield, now face their greatest threat. These timeless ranges, spanning Rajasthan, Haryana, and Gujarat, hold secrets older than humanity itself. The Supreme Court adopted a narrow new definition of Aravalli Hills. Only slopes 100 meters elevation and 50-degree angle qualify as Aravalli Hills. 90% of the range loses protection, allowing existing mines to continue while banning new leases until a master plan. This verdict transforms the landscape. Rajasthan's fragile ecosystems teeter on the brink, with desertification risks surging in Alwar and Bhiwadi regions. Buffers fail on eroded slopes. Delhi NCR chokes on dust as Thar Desert advances. New definition of Aravalli, threat to North India's future. These are no ordinary hills. The Aravallis form Earth's oldest fold mountain range, aged 1.8 billion years, predating the Himalayas by billions of years. Erosion has humbled them, yet they endure. History flows through their valleys. Aravallis have nurtured the Indus Valley civilization at Kalibangan, fortified Rajput kingdoms, and supplied stone for Mughal grandeur. 5 millennia of human legacy rest here. Today, the Aravallis anchor North India's survival. This 700-kilometer spine captures monsoons, feeding critical watersheds that supply 60% of Rajasthan's drinking water. They link vital wildlife corridors for leopards and sloth bears, while nurturing 800-plus species in biodiversity hotspots. Without them, ecosystems collapse.
Its importance as a buffer zone because it is geographically located in a position where it can act as a barrier, as a shield, and it would not allow the gushing winds from the west carrying the desert sand and dust and pollution, also hot winds. So it acts as a barrier and it doesn't allow those winds to affect on the east part of the Aravallis, which is constituted of Haryana, Delhi NCR, or like the western Uttar Pradesh area. So it really helps to maintain the temperature on the eastern part of the Aravallis. It is definitely geographically very important and located at the very correct spot. Apart from amazing groundwater filtration system and also like groundwater recharge system. Apart from that, it has the amazing lush greenery which cannot be avoided in the point of view that those lush greenery acts as a green carbon ecosystem, and it holds the carbon, like it acts as a carbon sink. These are not just mountains, these are breathing mountains. I would say it not just acts as something that can be mineable, definitely, but apart from that, it has its own ecological importance.
Total erasure brings nightmare scenarios. Desertification swallows farmland, unchecked floods devastate plains, and species like leopards vanish. Studies forecast a 20% rainfall decline for Delhi NCR. This 40,000 crore powerhouse, limestone for cement, marble for opulence, employs lakhs across Rajasthan. Mining giants dominate, supplying 40% of India's needs. The mountain range brims with treasure. 95% pure limestone, lustrous marble veins, durable quartzite, and versatile soapstone. These riches fuel India's construction boom, but threaten ecological collapse. The Aravallis represent more than stone. They embody North India's history, water security, and biodiversity. This Supreme Court verdict forces a stark choice: short-term profits or long-term survival. Activists mobilize, states contemplate appeals, demand rigorous safeguards now. These ancient sentinels deserve protection, not plunder.
Viewers, coming up next, Siddaramaiah says there is no change in the Chief Minister face amid the power tussle. We get to the details. Stay tuned.
झुमका तेरा झुमका
नॉट देयर, मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा.
तेरा झुमका मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी. व्हाट आर यू डूइंग?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं.
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा. रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना.
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं. रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला. डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे.
So primarily, when we talk about air quality index, AQI, basically the full form of AQI is air quality index, which is basically various parameters on which the air quality is assessed. Of course, in India, we actually follow PM 2.5, which is particulate matter 2.5, which is actually 40 times smaller than human hair. So it's very, very tiny. And then there's PM10, there's ozone, there's sulfur dioxide, and there's also carbon, in the sense carbon monoxide. So these together, these components, these parameters together, the composite of all creates and gives us a reading, which is called the air quality index in that sense. Of course, globally, the standards of what is permissible or what is good air is very, very different compared to India, and those standards are actually given by WHO. Anyway, we don't strictly follow those standards, and right now the government is actually telling us that those standards, the global standards, will not even apply to India, as if Indian lungs are made of steel, as if we breathe some other air, as if we are some superhumans in that sense. Right now, a lot of times people confuse between fog and smog. When we see that haze outside our window,
Welcome back from the break, viewers. We have a big breaking news coming in from Karnataka, where Siddaramaiah, the Chief Minister, has once again very clearly said that he is going to be remaining as the Chief Minister. He's reiterating that no change in the Chief Minister phase. This is coming in amid the power tussle in the state. Siddaramaiah states, and I quote, "I have completed 5 years once. I've become CM again for the second time. I'm only the Chief Minister now. According to me, the High Command is in my favor." So Siddaramaiah has very clearly said that the High Command, as per him, is in his favor. He said that he is the only Chief Minister now, hinting that there is going to be no change. And the power tussle continues in terms of several meetings, several breakfast meetings, several meetings with the High Command. DK Shivkumar, MLAs, all vouching for him to be the Chief Minister. But Siddaramaiah reiterates that there is no change in the CM phase. There is no change in the CM phase. That is what Siddaramaiah has said. Once again, he has reiterated that he is the only Chief Minister now. Abhishek joins us live on the broadcast for more details on this. Abhishek, if we talk about the power tussle in Karnataka, what exactly is happening? Because we are seeing meetings after meetings. There are several changes in the lines that the leaders are saying, and Siddaramaiah once again reiterating that he is the only Chief Minister now and there is going to be no change. The party High Command is in his favor. What do we have?
Riyanka, breakfast meetings in Bengaluru, dinner meetings in Belagavi by both the teams of Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar. We've seen that constantly for the last 10 to 15 days. And at this point of time, in the absence of DCM DK Shivkumar, CM Siddaramaiah has reiterated in the House of Assembly that he had been elected as the Chief Minister for the first term of Congress for an entire term. And this is his second time as the Chief Minister. He is the current Chief Minister, and also he has gone a step ahead to mention the House that he will be the Chief Minister of the state because he feels that the High Command is in the favor of Siddaramaiah. On the other hand, we've also seen R. Ashoka who tried to barge into the questions, who tried to manipulate with various other questions if Siddaramaiah will continue. And Siddaramaiah has very clearly mentioned that no such talks had happened, so he will continue as the Chief Minister of the state.
That's right. Abhishek, thank you for giving us the details on that note. We will continue tracking the updates that come in on the broadcast. With that, viewers, it's time we dip into a short commercial break. More news and updates will continue on the other side. Let's take a look what's coming up next. Parliament ignores India's public health emergency. The nota for AQI movement continues. We bring you the details on the other side.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
So primarily, when we talk about air quality index, AQI, basically the full form of AQI is air quality index, which is basically various parameters on which the air quality is assessed. Of course, in India, we actually follow PM 2.5, which is particulate matter 2.5, which is actually 40 times smaller than human hair.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े। क्या निराला MDH मसाला। आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
So primarily, when we talk about air quality index, AQI, basically the full form of AQI is air quality index, which is basically various parameters on which the air quality is assessed. Of course, in India, we actually follow PM 2.5, which is particulate matter 2.5.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
This is Republic Jack Oliver Studio. Stay tuned for all the breaking news and updates. I am Tanisha Avasthi. Let's get started.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
So primarily, when we talk about air quality index, AQI, basically the full form of AQI is air quality index, which is basically various parameters on which the air quality is assessed. Of course, in India, we actually follow PM 2.5, which is particulate matter 2.5, which is actually 40 times smaller than human hair. So it's very, very tiny. And then there's PM10, there's ozone, there's sulfur dioxide, and there's also carbon, in the sense carbon monoxide. So these are together, these components, these parameters.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Thank you for joining us on the live report. It's 12 p.m. You're watching Republic. Ladies and gentlemen, on the 17th, that's exactly 2 days back, the government in Delhi put out a notification, and this notification essentially banned everyone. Everyone across Delhi was banned from construction, saying you cannot construct. Heavy vehicular traffic forbidden in the national capital. Construction material coming into Delhi banned. Now, all of these rules were made for the Aam Aadmi, for the common people, for you and me. But the reality of what is going on in Delhi, ladies and gentlemen, you will be shocked. In the next few minutes, Republic gets you an investigation, not just from Delhi, not just from central Delhi. This is from the heart of Delhi. Here are the headlines. Republic TV investigation exposes what the government will not tell you, show you. An extensive ground report investigation on how construction continues in Delhi past midnight. Republic confronts those heading the construction in the heart of Delhi. Look at that, the trucks, the dumpers, the construction concrete mixers in the heart of Delhi. They say no construction is allowed, but in central Delhi, everything is okay. It's allowed. Chalta hai. They run after watching the Republic TV camera. We catch them red-handed as the construction workers in the heart of Delhi escape the moment the Republic crew reaches. Lok Sabha adjourned sine die, Rajya Sabha adjourned sine die. Politicians avoid a debate on pollution and AQI in Parliament. Violent midnight protests across Dhaka. Rioters, radicals take over Bangladesh's capital. Newspapers targeted. The house of the Indian ambassador targeted. As we speak, these protests continue over the death of an anti-India activist. Reports come in of a Hindu man being targeted, lynched in Mymensingh in Bangladesh. The Indian envoy too facing protests overnight. Ladies and gentlemen, Republic TV has been keeping the vigil overnight. From central Delhi, we bring you this investigative sequence. My colleague Soumya was in central Delhi last night, all of last night until 5 a.m. this morning, tracking the construction activity, showing construction how it's on. Construction workers caught red-handed, supervisors caught red-handed, and major construction sites in the heart of the national capital. For the first time, they told you construction was banned 48 hours ago, but as we speak, this is not just any normal home construction, ladies and gentlemen. These are mega projects, which, by the way, were supposed to stop. As per the circular that I have in my hand, this was supposed to stop 48 hours back. AQI has crossed 400 this morning once again. But the work continues. It's business as usual in central Delhi.
Here we are in the heart of Delhi, in Sarojini Nagar, where despite Grafo, you can see people running there and hiding. कैसा काम चल रहा है भैया इधर? It is one of the sites located here, one of the construction sites located here in Sarojini Nagar, wherein the construction work was underway. When we tried to speak to the people here, the guards here, 3 to 4 guards specifically have been assigned for that, and they denied that any such activity was being undertaken. While we tried to speak to the laborers also when they were on this particular crane thing, and when we tried to confront them, they ran away. Let's see inside where all people have been deployed here and still working, because people are in hiding. There are many such locations here in the national capital wherein, despite the restrictions, because of the increasing AQI, because of the increasing pollution, despite that, Grab 4 restrictions also in the place, people have been working, and it is under the nose of the Delhi government that it is still happening. Mind you, this is one such location. We tried to speak to the people here, but they ran away. We'll try and look out for laborers who ran away when we tried to question them about what they were doing. As you can see, the construction process was in full process, because the smoke and everything is still very much as if they were. It was started very recently. The lights are on. Everybody has just, the moment they got to know that we are here, they've gone into hiding, and it is very clear that under the nose of the Delhi police, the authorities, and the Delhi government, the construction works are still underway.
In fact, we are told that these are not just normal projects, these are huge projects that are underway. Cameras show how construction work was on in full swing. Trucks, which are, by the way, as per this notification that I have in my hand, just hold on, let me show you. This notification that I have in my hand is a government notification, and it reads, let me read out a line of this. It says, entry restrictions on vehicles registered outside Delhi, restriction on vehicles carrying construction material. It says there is a strict ban on plying of Delhi registered diesel vehicles, BS4 and below, heavy goods vehicles. But you see trucks, concrete mixers, slabs being ferried on heavy duty trucks in the heart of Delhi. This is overnight. Take a look.
भैया क्या चल रहा है ये तो अभी तो बंद है ना कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्क्स?
कहाँ पे?
पूरे जगह में, पूरी दिल्ली में ग्रैब 4 लगा हुआ है, कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्क बंद है।
सर तो ये परमिशन है सर।
कैसे परमिशन है? ग्रैब 4 में कैसे परमिशन हो सकता है? ग्रैब 4 is in well, we are here in central Delhi, one of the biggest projects here of the central government, and you can see the people, the people we have tried to question here, they're saying that they have, the permission has been granted for the construction work here. However, despite the Grab 4 restriction in place, it is well within the vicinity of central Delhi, where surrounded by houses of some of the senior most leaders, senior most politicians serving here in our country, MPs here, and this is one such location wherein the construction work is in place. सर बट कंस्ट्रक्शन तो मना है ना सर?
मना है।
क्या मना है सर? बट कंस्ट्रक्शन तो मना है ना, आप कैसे कंस्ट्रक्शन कर रहे हैं? बताइए सर।
कोई जवाब नहीं दे सकता आप इसको अभी।
बट आप ये कैसे जवाब नहीं दे सकते सर? पूरा प्रॉपर आवाज आ रहा है, कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्क चल रहा है, ये कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्क तो मना, अभी ग्रैब 4 है।
सर आपको अलाउ नहीं है मैडम, प्लीज कृपया करके आप थोड़ा सा
तो आप मेरे को बता दीजिए, मुझे अलाउ नहीं है, बट ये
तरफ से मैडम अलाउ नहीं है आपको।
ये सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का इतना बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट है, यहाँ पे कैसे अलाउड नहीं है सर? I understand sir, if photography is not allowed, please tell me how is the construction work underway? आप मेरे को बस सिर्फ इतना बता दीजिए कि जब ग्रैब 4 है लगा हुआ, तो एक सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का प्रोजेक्ट कैसे चल रहा है?
वो परमिशन दिखाओ, बाद में बात करेंगे आपके।
आप इन्होंने मुझे भी बोला कि आपको परमिशन। Well, see, everybody is dodging the question and they're not ready to answer the question. This is well within central Delhi, surrounded by the...
Such projects haven't really stopped. And the reason why we are showing you this investigation is because we've crossed 400. AQI has crossed 400 and there is an urgent need to stop all construction activity. GRAP 4 has been imposed, but the joke is on all of us because GRAP 4 applies to all of the national capital except those in power. Take a look.
कंस्ट्रक्शन का काम मना है, अभी क्यों काम चल रहा है?
मना है।
आपको ये बात नहीं पता कि कंस्ट्रक्शन का काम मना है अभी? ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता, ये हर जगह रूल्स लागू हैं कि ये कंस्ट्रक्शन का काम चल नहीं रहा है। कैसे मालूम नहीं था? आप किधर काम कर रहे हो?
ये करते हैं।
इधर अंदर पूरा काम चल रहा है अभी?
नहीं, बंद हो चुका।
नहीं तो अभी तो फिर आपको अगर बंद चला होता तो आप ये मेरे से पूछते नहीं कि मना है कि नहीं है, मतलब चल रहा है काम इधर। आप रात के 1:45 बजे आप यहाँ पे काम कर रहे हैं, आपको पता नहीं है कि ये पोल्यूशन की वजह से जो रेस्ट्रिक्शंस लगे हैं उसमें कंस्ट्रक्शंस के काम एकदम रोक दिए गए हैं।
मुझे नहीं पता था, तभी तो कम।
तो आप इसीलिए आप अभी काम कर रहे हैं इधर?
बंद हो जाएगा तब मालूम होगा।
तो अभी कितने बजे तक आपका काम है इधर?
अब नहीं होएगा तो मालूम होगा, बंद हो जाएगा।
नहीं, कितने बजे तक काम होगा?
वैसे सुबह लोग चिंता है।
सुबह तक कितने बजे तक?
5 बजे तक।
और रोज काम चल रहा है इधर? ये सरकार का ये रेस्ट्रिक्शन पिछले हफ्ते आ गया था कि जितनी पोल्यूशन बढ़ रही है उसकी वजह से जो चीज़ें लागू की गई हैं उसमें कंस्ट्रक्शन मना है, तब भी उसके बावजूद ये पूरे हफ्ते काम चला है इधर?
पता नहीं, मुझे मालूम नहीं।
आप यहाँ पे कितने दिन से काम कर रहे हैं?
मुझे तो कल आए हैं
यहाँ पे। और कल काम हुआ है इधर?
हाँ, हुआ था थोड़ा बहुत।
कितने बजे तक काम हुआ था इधर?
5 बजे तक।
सुबह के 5 बजे तक।
And ladies and gentlemen, at several points in this investigation, the supervisors come up and say that they were given a slip. Some say they were given permission from the construction companies. Now, there are serious questions that arise. Now, if GRAP 4 has been imposed in the national capital, and there was a notification given out about 48 hours back, which also, by the way, bans public projects, and we have details of it. In fact, here it says, and I'm reading out for you, ladies and gentlemen, ban C&D activities, construction activities, also for linear public projects such as highways, roads, flyovers, overbridges, power transmissions, pipelines, telecommunication, etc. Now, if it is banned, how is it that construction is still on in central Delhi, all of central Delhi? It's proven, it's on camera. Take a look.
तो आप लोगों को नहीं पता है कि ये ग्रैप 4 लगा हुआ और यहाँ पे काम नहीं कर सकते?
जो हमको सरकार बोलेगी तभी मानेंगे, हमको तो बस बोलते हैं ले जाओ तो हम लेके आ गए यहाँ।
तो सरकार के ऑर्डर्स हैं आपको?
हमको तो कार्ड बना के देते हैं LNT का, वो कार्ड बोलते हैं ले जाओ काम करो जाके बस।
This was one of the responses from one of the laborers here working, and clearly they have a permission, they have a grant, because of which despite restrictions being in place, they are successfully undertaking the construction works. Here you can see behind me how everything is in place. All the construction machinery is also in place, and the construction work is in full swing, while the national capital is suffering every day with bad pollution. The condition is worsening by each day. The AQI is going down by each day, because of which the restrictions were put in place. However, this central government project and the construction work here is still on despite the restrictions in place.
And construction work was underway with trucks continuously on the move. Concrete mixers bringing in construction material right in the heart of central Delhi. Now, this is despite clear restrictions. Concrete slabs were ferried openly at a site. We were at the site when it happened, and ironically, this particular site was bang opposite a police station. So the police also knew. Take a look.
This is another location in this vicinity where the restrictions are being flouted despite the restrictions in place. This is third location here in the same vicinity wherein the construction works are underway. The said vehicles which are also restricted, they are also in a place. The moment they saw the movement of these panels stopped immediately when they saw our camera. But this is one such location in a very close perimeter wherein the construction work, you can see this is how these things are being taken. You can see is a police station here in Sarojini Nagar, and here in the backdrop is one such location wherein the construction works are underway in full swing. Mind you, the restrictions, despite the restriction in place which completely restricts construction work, despite that construction works are underway. So it is very clear, it is under the nose of the Delhi government that despite the restrictions, despite the increasing AQI, the worsening level of AQI, the pollution, the construction works are still underway in full swing under the nose of the Delhi government, wherein in the close proximity we also have the police station. However, there's nobody to stop these construction works despite the restrictions in place.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is the sequence where they see us. The moment they see the Republic TV reporter and the Republic TV mic, the supervisors begin to run, the construction workers begin to run, but they admit that construction has been on in the heart of Delhi. Let's show you why this is banned. If you're watching this, what we are showing you is openly rules being flouted. Who allowed the construction is the big question, because all construction is banned in Delhi under GRAP 4 for the last 48 hours that has been in place. And despite that, given the severe levels of pollution, all heavy vehicles are banned, but you are seeing in our reports these heavy vehicles roll into central Delhi. Not just one or two vehicles, trucks, hundreds of them. Vehicles carrying construction materials are supposed to be banned under GRAP 4. But you are seeing them in the hearts of central Delhi. And under GRAP 4, all linear public projects are supposed to be on hold. But despite that, you are looking at the visuals of construction being allowed in the national capital. I'm going across to this report. In this report, you can see them run. You can see them run the moment they see the Republic TV camera. This is the moment when we confronted them while construction was on.
अच्छा, अभी भैया काम चल रहा है क्या इधर? पूरा काम चल रहा है, आवाज आ रही है। ये आवाज कैसे आ रही है? ये पूरा आवाज आ तो रही है। काम कर तो रहे हो आप? पूरी हो रही है ये फोटो। पूरा काम चल रहा है। Here we are in the heart of Delhi, in Sarojini Nagar, where despite GRAP 4 you can see people running there and hiding. कैसा काम चल रहा है भैया इधर? It is one of the sites located here, one of the construction sites located here in Sarojini Nagar, wherein the construction work was underway. When we tried to speak to the people here, the guards here, 3 to 4 guards specifically have been assigned for that, and they denied that any such activity was being undertaken. While we tried to speak to the laborers also when they were on this particular crane thing, and when we tried to confront them, they ran away. Let's see inside where all people have been deployed here and still working, because people are in hiding. There are many such locations here in the national capital wherein despite the restrictions, because of the increasing AQI, because of the increasing pollution, despite that, GRAP 4 restrictions also in the place, people have been working, and it is under the nose of the Delhi government that it is still happening. Mind you, this is one such location. We tried to speak to the people here, but they ran away. We'll try and look out for laborers who ran away when we tried to question them about what they were doing. As you can see, the construction process was in full process, because the smoke and everything is still very much as if they were. It started it was started very recently. The lights are on. Everybody has just the moment they got to know that we are here, they've gone into hiding, and it is very clear that under the nose of the Delhi police, the authorities, and the Delhi government, the construction works are still underway. This is our report, an exclusive report on Republic TV. This is Soumya Jaiswal with Vijay Yashpal.
There are multiple violations. If you look at the report, and I want to go across to Soumya, who did this investigation. Soumya, multiple violations. In fact, I have the notification that was put out in my hand, right? Heavy vehicles were not allowed. Construction activity not allowed, right? Construction material not allowed into the national capital. Public projects not allowed. Multiple violations. How many locations did you go to? And can you tell us the nature and scale of this construction activity that you saw in the heart of Delhi?
Well, first we started from Sarojini Nagar, and the first report that you saw on our screen, the first reports are from Sarojini Nagar itself. And these three locations that we're talking about, where we barged into the construction locations and we tried to confront the workers there and get a sense as to, despite the restrictions, how is it possible that the construction works were still taking place there? So it was clear that everybody involved there were aware that yes, restrictions are in place and they are not allowed. Despite that, there were attempts made so that they can fool people into thinking that there is no such construction work is underway, because there were cutouts also pasted outside all of these construction places saying that work closed or restriction in place because of the NGT and no construction happening. So several such cutouts were also in place. Multiple guards were also deployed in all of these construction locations in Sarojini Nagar itself. 3 to 4 guards in each and every location.
Yeah.
They used to confirm that no such construction work is taking place, but the moment they saw our cameras or the mics, they ran. So it is if we talk about just Sarojini Nagar itself, there were multiple such locations. We investigated 3 such locations. Then we had Central Delhi, the heart of Delhi, wherein we have all the senior leaders also staying there. We have the Prime Minister staying there. We saw a central government project that was underway. Government deployed security officials. When questioned, they tried to dodge our questions, and the laborers, however, who were present there, they said that they have the grant from the government, and hence the construction work is being undertaken at these locations. So there are multiple such locations. However, the question is that despite the restriction in a place, what is the government doing with regards to implementation?
Okay, stay with me. I'm quickly getting a word from Shavan. Shavan, does anything give them special, permission?
Well, in fact, if you simply go by the notice that has already been issued with the imposition of GRAP, there is no such mention of any sort of special permission as what has been indicated by some of the security guards there, that there is a special permission to carry out the construction. Now, if you simply go by the notice, in fact, perhaps Niranjan, you have the full details there. It makes a clear mention, and I'm just going to read out here as far as construction activities are concerned. They say, and I'm quoting, all construction and demolition activities are banned, including linear public projects such as highways, roads, flyovers, power transmission lines, pipelines, and telecom work, which are otherwise allowed in lower stages. Now, the reality is this, that had it been a lower stage of GRAP, then perhaps the construction would have been allowed. Now, this is the final GRAP stage that we are looking at, and there is a stricture that is already put in place by the government itself. Now, what you're looking at is a situation where you have projects. These are projects that have been undertaken in the heart of the national capital, and it seems that the security guards with whom we spoke to, and we have caught those construction activities on our cameras, and they're clearly saying that there is a special permission. We are waiting for the Delhi government to tell us, perhaps enlighten us as to what kind of a special permission is actually allowed when the entire city is reeling under this kind of toxic air.
Yeah, Shavan and Soumya, thank you for joining us with that report. Soumya, It's a reality check. Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue to follow up. We are not going to leave this story here. We will continue to investigate. And I'm moving focus now, shifting focus from Delhi to Dhaka. From Delhi to Dhaka right now, ladies and gentlemen, where Bangladesh has witnessed intense unrest late last night, overnight, following the death of a youth leader by the name of Sharif Usman Hadi. Mobs have attacked media houses, political offices, cultural institutions, private residences, widespread vandalism across Bangladesh, roads being blocked, and even as we speak, thousands of people are on the streets. I'm going across straight with the pictures to Veena Sikri. Veena Sikri, he's reportedly one of the brains behind the Greater Bangladesh so-called map, etc. And a vocal anti-India activist. Now, he gets shot in the middle of Dhaka. India has nothing to do with it. Why are these radicals being unleashed by Dhaka on our embassy and our ambassador?
Well, I must say that firstly, yes, he was, one of the people who's been doing the map. He's inciting anti-India hatred right throughout. We do know also that the so-called July uprising was no revolution. It was no student spontaneous uprising. It was a very well-planned, as Yunus said, meticulously designed regime change operation with Jamaat-e-Islami in full control. Now, Jamaat-e-Islami and the other Islamist organizations are still calling all the shots. Now, they're using this instance of the attack on this leader who has now died, Usman Hadi, to bring in anti-Indianism. Within seconds of this attack on him, they had called in the Indian High Commissioner in Dhaka and told him that India has done this and so on. And we know that every person whom you call from Bangladesh will say that. You know, this person is in India, we want him back. Sheikh Hasina is in India, we want her back. So this is a deliberate attempt to fan anti-Indianism and to disguise the fact that Muhammad Yunus is unable to control the situation in Bangladesh. There is complete anarchy throughout Bangladesh. In fact, to protect the Indian Assistant High Commission office in Chittagong, the army is there. The army has been deployed because the law and order situation, and Sheikh Muhammad Yunus himself is totally unable to control this mobocracy, this anarchy that he has himself instigated. And I think what is even more shocking, that all your channels should also be focusing on what is happening to the minorities. Last night, in Bangladesh, a Hindu youth of 30 years old was beaten to death. His body was tied to a stick in the ground, and he was burnt. Now, the thing is, this kind of deliberate attacks on minorities, this attempt to push out the minorities, this determination to bring in a Sharia law in Bangladesh, a caliphate in Bangladesh, is part of their strategy. And they're hiding the fact that the majority of Bangladesh has now turned against Muhammad Yunus. They are wanting to have, limited elections, excluding Awami League, excluding Jatiyo Party and others, because they want to bring in a fake kind of a regime where they will be able to bring in Sharia law. They want to bring in the Jamaat-e-Islami. Whereas what they should be doing, as India has told them categorically, we must have free, fair, inclusive, and therefore credible elections. Without credible elections, the people of Bangladesh were not going to be satisfied. Instability will continue. Insecurity will continue. This is all part of that. You're just focusing on one aspect. You're not talking about what is happening in the other part of the country. The way the Indian positions in Rajshahi, in Kulna, in Chittagong, and earlier in Dhaka are being attacked. The way the minorities are being burnt to death, lynched and burnt to death. And there's not a word about that. I'm absolutely amazed that this fake kind of contrived violence by the mobocracy, blaming it on India and saying we want the kill of Osman Hadi or else, this is not at all the story. Has there been evidence given that somebody has killed, somebody from India has been involved? India has called in the Bangladesh High Commission and categorically told him that there is no question of India being involved, and please have free, fair and inclusive elections. Absolutely. That is what is under control.
Ma'am, I want to tell you that we've reported about Deepu Chandra. I think you were referring to Deepu Chandra, who was lynched and then his body was set ablaze. We've shown those pictures as well, and we are reporting live from Dhaka, by the way. So we will be putting out those pictures as well, and a comprehensive report of all the incidents of violence, and where Indians specifically, and Indian symbols, Indian locations, Indian people have been targeted, and minorities especially are being targeted in Bangladesh. We have a comprehensive report coming up in just a few minutes. Ambassador Veena Sikri, thank you for joining us on the live report. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. That's all the time we had on the live report this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are taking a short break. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. The headlines coming up. Stay tuned. Rioters taking over Dhaka completely. 12 locations where riots have broken out across Bangladesh.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार।